Hello everyone and welcome back to Study with Azaria. Today we're going to be looking at how to add and subtract decimals. Be sure to subscribe to this channel and like the video if it helps you out. And finally, let's get into it. So this section of maths is relatively easy, but to make sure you have all the skills to be able to add and subtract decimals, check out the video on how to add normal numbers first before getting into this. Now, when it comes to adding decimals, all you have to pay attention to is the place value. So we're going to add the numbers as normal. We have 43.51 plus 3.18. So we're going to make sure that the 3 is in the ones column and the decimal point aligns with the first number. And then we're going to add as usual. So 1 plus 8 is 9. 5 plus 1 is 6. Then you need to make sure the decimal point sits exactly where it was in the beginning. And then you continue, 3 plus 3 is 6, and then 4 plus nothing is 4. So for our next question, we have 12.3 plus 8.04. So again, it's all about place value. Make sure that the 8 is in the ones column, and the 0 and the 4, the numbers behind the decimal point, also align. Don't try and push them into one column by themselves, just make sure they're directly under the numbers they need to be. Then you continue to add as normal and just make sure that again the decimal point is exactly where it needs to be and it aligns with the rest of the numbers. Now, that is pretty much all there is to adding decimals. So here are 3 questions on the board for you guys to work through. This is the time to pause the video now before I start writing the answers on the board. And don't worry if you make a couple of mistakes, there is always plenty of time to practice. Now we're going to move on to subtracting decimals, and again we just apply the same principle. Just pay close attention to place value. So we have 20.65 subtract 2.38. We continue to carry out our subtraction as usual and just make sure to place the decimal point exactly where it needs to be. It won't always be in front of 2 digits, it could depend on the question and the different types of numbers. Now on to the second question. We have 102.4 subtract 2.93. Again, it's very important to line up all your numbers exactly where they are for place value. Now let's get started with the subtraction. So first we're going to start by subtracting 3 from nothing. As we can see, there's nothing there, so we have to put a 0. This only applies to decimals, numbers that are behind the decimal point. By adding zeros, you're not adding any value, it's just a placeholder there to be able to carry on doing the subtraction. Now we can continue. We cross out the 4 and put a 3 and carry the 1 to the hundredths column. Now we can continue doing 10 take away 3, which gives us 7. Then we have 3 take away 9, which we can't do, so we need to borrow a 1 from the other column, which makes it 13. Then 13 take away 9 is 4. Then we look at the 2, we can't do 1 take away 2, so we have to look at the other column. But then the other column also has a 0, so we have to look at the other column. And then we keep on continuing the process until you get an answer of 99.47. And now we're going to finish off with a word problem which combines everything we've learned about adding and subtracting decimals. Have a go, pause the video now and read the question, and then come back to the video to find the answer and how to work out the solution. Okay, hopefully you've had a go at the question, so here is the solution. So question A asks us how much distance did Carlos travel in total? So if you remember from the previous video about adding normal numbers, when we hear the word in total, we should just add the numbers together. So we have 12.94 plus 2.76, so we work out decimal addition as we learned through this video, and we get an answer of 15.7 kilometers. The reason why I'm only saying 15.7 kilometers is, hopefully you remember, but at the end of decimal numbers, zeros don't add any value. But remember, only at the end of decimal numbers. So to keep it simple, we just write 15.7 kilometers. Now for the second part of the question, it asks how much distance is there between the post office and his church. So to be able to do this, we just need to subtract the distances from each other. So we need to do 12.94 take away 2.76, and that will give you the answer for question B. If you've reached the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about what we've learnt, feel free to comment down below any questions or queries that you have. Remember to like the video and subscribe if it helped you out, and until next time, thank you!